Okay. Then, as you can see, it says x bar, it's equal to sum of the x1, x2 until the last x divided by n. How many are they? Okay. And then the other one says x bar bar, ne? We normally say this is x bar bar, which is average of the subgroup averages. Average of the subgroup averages. Understand? So what do we mean when we are saying that? When you have x1, x2, x3, x4, you have their average. Okay? Then you need the average of average. The average of average. That's your center line. Ne? Because our interest, not everything will be shown on the recording. We're going to have upper control limit, lower control limit, and your x bar bar is going to be your central limit. No, the central line. This is going to be your central line. Usually, this is your target. Usually, when you are, what do you call that process? I'm just forgetting it. When you melt something, let's say you melt your steel or whatever, metal cast, then you pour it into a mold again. Then after that, it will have shrinkage again. So now, this is 100% what we design. Okay? Then it's like it doesn't properly shrink. Then we find that we're going to have a dot there. And then another one laying around there. Then they start to fluctuate. Then obviously you want to connect those lines. Then you know that this one went above, so it didn't shrink properly. This one overshrinked here. And then this one was almost normal. These are abnormalities. You need to resolve them. And also you need to make sure that you check how often do they occur. How often do they occur? And then you collect what could be the reason. Then you're gonna go to cause and effect. What is the cause of this? What is the cause of our numbers going outside our control limits? This is what we are trying to do. Because in order for you to be able to solve a problem, you need to be able to quantify it. And then this is when you call your cause and effect diagrams, and you call for your Pareto diagrams, and then you come up with ways to solve their problem. Okay. In a situation of a test, I'm going to give you x bar and range. Yeah? Because why I give you, as you can see, there are 25. Yeah? And you need to complete for each and every single of them. And that is the 1 mark. By the end of the time, 1 mark is equals to approximately 2 minutes, yeah, or 3, around about that. So ultimately, you can see that if I need to mark all this and give you in the form of a test, I will need to give you more than 2 hours. You understand? And it wouldn't be even fair even for me to give you this even in the exam. So in the exam, I think one of the exams I kept it at 10 instance. No? I kept them at 10. But in our test, I'm going to give you the x bar and the range. Ne? So your job will be to use your calculator to determine the total of the x bars and the average of the average and the average of the range. You see, it's easy, right? So now I want you now to show you I want us to verify this by using Excel. I'm going to assign it. So now, how would you get the x bar on the assignment? So I'm going to open my, there's a, I hope it's not far. Let's see, rubric. Okay, I can see that it's been a while since I opened that file, so it's not a problem. I'm going to look for it. Which class is this? Production, quality, and teaching material. Yeah, control charts. There. Okay, so now I'm going to, we have S bar and we have X bar, right? So I'm going to delete here. I'm going to delete everything that is here. Okay. Then now somebody somewhere says, I want to know how do you get the average of your observations. Yeah? So number one, you say equals to, and you click or you type average like this, then you highlight, yeah, so it will say B2 to E2, yeah, meaning B, C, D, E. It combines them and it looks for the average. You close bracket, you click enter, then you're gonna get the first one as 6.36, yeah. Then you go here until it shows that black sign. Look at this. When I move it, it becomes white. When I bring it closer, it becomes black. Then you double click. As soon as you double click, it will populate that cell for you. Yeah? Then you go under range. You do the same. Equals to, what is range equal to? Okay. So we don't necessarily have a straightforward calculation for that. We're going to look for maximum and we're going to look for minimum, and we subtract the two. Yeah? So maximum, max, okay, we look for the maximum number within this data. Do not highlight what? The X bar. Right? Do not highlight the X bar. Okay, then we say minus, then we type mean. You double click so that it can allow you to highlight. You only highlight X1 until X thing. Then you get your ranges there. Then you double click, then you have now all your ranges. You see that you have all the ranges that you need, right? Then you go down. Over here, we need the sum. I'll delete this. You need the sum. How do we get the sum? Equals to sum. You just type equals to sum. Open bracket, and we highlight everything within here. Close bracket, enter. And now you need to do the average of averages, né? Which is going to be equals to, you do the same average. Average of everything here except the total. You close bracket, enter. Then you have your average of averages. Here you can duplicate the formula by dragging it. Then you know that your total ranges are 2.9. Then you just confirm the formula here. Okay, it did the right thing. All right. So now we know how to find the name. All right. This is for the assignment. However, I needed to show you how I got my values here, right? However, you are going to be required to calculate the X bar. Understand? In the test, I won't give you the X bar. So you will have to use your calculator to calculate this, the X bar. Right? Okay. So usually the safest way to do I'm not going to obviously use my calculator to do that now because I'm already given this. I will require you will use your calculator in this manner. Let's look for the calculator. Okay, you might need to follow this procedure. I hate this visibility, but what can I do? Okay, you're gonna go to, oh, this thing is not visible, guys, honestly, but I'll move the thing on the center, maybe it will be visible. Okay, it's much better, right? You go to setup, mode setup. Then you're going to state, which is number 2. Ne? Then you go to this number 2 here. It will do the XY for you. Ne? You enter under X, you enter those X bars. Under Y, you enter those R bars. Ne? So imagine this was going all the way until maybe, let's say, 5. Ne? The data was going until 5. I just want to show you something using your calculator. So I'm going to add the information all the way until 5. Guys, I tried to fight for a proper projector. Got funny stories that I didn't really like because I'm the only one who's using a projector. But they are saying, what about this other lecturers? Because I wanted it for long-term use. So I couldn't win, so I will stick to mine. And maybe fight for better venues that are darker. Not like pitch black like that other one. So we have 6.36, ne? Enter. 6.4, enter. 6.36 again, enter. And 6.65, enter. And then 6.39, right? Okay, then come this side, we do for the Y. So you need to do for both of them same time. It's going to be 0.08, enter. 0.1, enter. 0.06, enter. And 0.1, enter. 0.1 again, enter. Right, so this is enough for the purpose of what we are trying to demonstrate. Then you say AC, ne? After that you will be able to go to state. I pressed shift, then I go to number 1 there, state. Then under state you are able to call for the sum if you needed the total. As we can see, we have sum of X here. See that? We have sum of X there. So you would be able to get, if you say 2, then you're going to find the sum of X. Even the average itself. But because of we are giving you marks for calculating the average, what you can do under 4 here, under variables, you see X bar there. You can be able to find the X bar. There's your X bar. But you need to be careful of this. You use it to verify your X bar because I want to give you marks to give me the X bar, right? So rather you take your sum of X and the N value. I think we might have the N value. Let me check under variables. There's your N value, 1. So it says 5. It's supposed to say 4. Okay, the N is wrong. It's summing them going down. We don't take the N value. It's summing them going down. It's not the value that we are looking for. Okay, so now, no, it's right actually. I think we are doing the subgroups, the average of averages. So you're taking them going down. Yeah, the N value is correct, which is going to be 25. So the G value and the N value, the two different things. So this N, it's actually G. It's your subgroup value, right? which is 25. At the end, it's going to be 25. Okay, so then you are able now to have something like this. Let's say the example here. They say in order to illustrate the calculation necessary to obtain the trial control limit and the central line, the data in table 6.2 concerning the depth of the shaft keyway will be used. From that table, we are denoting that our sum of x bar is 160, yeah? And the sum of r is 2.19 and the g is 25. So now look for the average for both, yeah? So where's our formula? There's our formula there. Okay, I didn't find myself a nice space. Okay, I'm gonna have it like this. Wait, my pen is ups and down. It's too thick. Now the formula says x bar is equals to the sum of x bars, né? And we end at g. And then we say I is equals to 1, which is the sum of 160 again 0.25 over 20 over 25, right? And then on the other side, whereby we were looking for the r bar equals to the sum of I is equals to 1, then this one is g over g, which is 2.19 over 25, okay, which is equals to okay, and I have for no, I was confident that you're gonna give me the answer. Give me the answer then. Okay, 6,41, right? And then when we come this side, how much is this one? Sorry? Yes, 2,19. 876. Okay, this one is 64 what? 41 like this. Okay, sure. Okay, we found the first part, right? We found the first part that is necessary. Then, guys, so the x bar is your central line, like there. Yeah? The x bar is your central line. That's what we have. Now we are concerned about, we want to know your upper control limit and your lower control limit. Okay, so this is the formula. You need to find the data. The data for A2 is equals to 4, what is the other one? D4 and D3. Okay? Right. I didn't post the tables before them, okay? Because tables are constant. Okay. Guys, do not wait for too long before you watch my videos. If you're left with 24 hours and there are 8 hours, you never watch them. Remember, there are 8 hours worth of videos per hour, 2 hours per session. And if you have that way of 3 sessions, that is 6 hours of videos to watch. Do not wait until it's too late. Watch the videos as you practice, right? Because if we don't finish now, we have a task to do. If we don't finish today, we have a task to do. I'm mandated by the guys. It's not my choice. Guys, I am mandated by the dean to make it a point that I say in the senior. And next week Friday you are writing. So you have no choice. We have to meet tomorrow if we don't finish. No, no, no. Okay, we'll make a plan. Maybe online. All right. So let's look for A. Let's look for D. Ne? So when you are, let's go to the tables. When you look for A2, ne? When you look for A2 and D4, you use the value of N. Ne? I'm going to give you that N. Do not confuse between the N and the G, right? N is for the number of the observations, right? Here. And then G is the number of subgroups, right? So we use the value of N to look for this. In our case, is how much? It's 4. So you're going to go under 4 there. Because now I'm having the luxury of technology, I will highlight the entire segment. Right, it does allow me to highlight. So I know where my numbers are coming from when I do this. All right? Okay. Then A2, we have one. It's 0.729. And then D4 or D3 is 0. Then D4 is 2.282, right? Who has a strong memory? What was our A2? 0.729. Then 2.282. Then this one 0, right? Then you bring your formulas here. I obviously it will take time for me to rewrite them. So let's rather say upper control limit x for x, right? It's equals to 6.41 plus 0.729 multiplied by 0. Okay, then 0.876. All right, then your lower control limit x bar is equals to 6.41 minus 0.729 dot 0.0876. Okay, then your upper control limit for R is equals to 0.0876 multiplied by 2.282. Then your lower control limit for R equals to, you need to write it, guys, 0 multiplied by 0.0876, which is 0. That is 3 marks. You must write it. That is 3 marks. Right? Then, can we compute, starting with this one? 6.4788. Okay. I say 65. 65. Is it for plus? For the plus, this one. What do you mean everything? So I'm saying 6.41 plus 0.72 multiplied by, okay. Okay, then for this one, yeah. But this level is it was expected by 0.346 cents. 346, okay. 6.346. But the 47, I don't believe it. Can we do the 47? 47. I don't believe it, man. Why can't the book got 65? Yeah? Okay, I'll take your answer. Then this one. We're getting the same answer. Hey. Wait. Oh boy, check it. Okay. 6 point 0.0876 times 2.282 equals to 199, which is 12, ne? 0.12. 0.2. Okay. Yeah, 0.2. So then you plot this, right? Then you plot this. Let me verify the answers. Okay, I don't have their answers, but okay. I believe we are right. All right. And when you plot this, oh, okay. Now I remember what I did. I want to do this side by side. I want to show you something, ne? So our X bar is this one, right? The 6.41. You need to write it there at the top. 6.41, right? And then our R bar is 0.0876, right? 0.0876, right? Then let's see. Double tap. No, why are you differentiating it right now? Okay, this thing's misbehaving. 6.41. Hey, this thing, he wants me to type. Yes, I am. Copy, paste, paste. Okay. So it looks like it wants me to surf, which is fine. It will surf. So on Excel, this is what you're gonna do. You write this 641, né? And 0.0876. Copy, paste, copy, paste, paste. Paste. Copy, paste. Okay. Then for your control limits, we have already done the control limits, right? Guys, for the control limits, we have the control limit for that, right? Which is 6.47. And we have for which is 6.35. And we have this one for which is 0.2. And then 0. Okay? Okay, the zeros, they agree. Then this one's, it wants to act smart. Okay. Maybe it's because of I use my personal PC at home. 0.2. Okay. 6.35. 6.35. 6.35. Okay. 6.47. 6.47. Okay. I want to copy, paste, paste, copy, paste. Paste. Guys, so far makes sense, right? So far makes sense, right? So now, how did we get to this? Now let's do the procedure. Let's do the procedure for the graph, ne? For the graph. I'm going to ask you a question. If the central line is my x bar, and we found the upper control limits and lower control limits, what are these points? What are these points? Make all guess. They are your x bars. Again, this one is your x bar. Average of averages. Then these are your averages. Right? Then those are your averages. Okay? So now, in our graph, guys, you have to listen to this point. You highlight your x bar. You go to x bar. You're gonna have here. You go to x bar, then you highlight going down. I highlight going down, okay. Then I go to another one, which is the x the control limits. Let's check for the x bar first, okay. Then you go to the x bar, you click control. Agree? So I highlighted. Then you come this side, you click control, then you highlight. Ne? It helped me to highlight only second bar, ne? The second row or column, let's say column. If it happens that you click somewhere, then you come and highlight, your graph is not gonna come. You need to click on the column that you're doing, then you go to the column that you want, then you click control. Then that's how it's gonna allow you to highlight. If that doesn't work, call a friend to assist you. Then now I'm doing for the control limit. I click control, I highlight both of them, and I go down. Now it is highlighted like this. I'm able to do this thing and make you point to do it for the assignment. Because if you don't know how to do it for the assignment, I'm not going to assist you. No consultation with regarding this. You must make it a point that today you know it. Monday, you are ready to submit. Right. Then you insert. You insert this. And you see, even mine decided to be a mess. Delete it. Even mine decided to be a mess. There's a chance that I have a mixture of numbers and letters. Guys, which ones are numbers here? You see, they give me a sum. Okay, you can see. These ones, they give me a sum. Ne? When I zoom here, I do get a sum. Ne? But you see that this is a comma, this is a comma, this is a full stop. You see that? So it means that there could be a problem somewhere. So I need to verify that. And I'm able, unfortunately you can't see, I'm able to get a sum here. So it means that it does add up. And I do get an average. So it means that there's something wrong somewhere. So, and this is very common for all computers. For all computers, it doesn't matter which computer it is. This is very common, whereby the computer mixes a full stop and a comma, especially when it comes to Excel. Usually, I prefer a PC with a number pad on the side because the comma that is on the number pad is always correct. Unlike the comma that you're using from the QT-pad side. It's called term, guys. So now, when I come here, when I highlight this section, all I get is count. Do you see that? All I get is count. No more average. So I'm dealing with text versus numbers. This is a common error. I'm telling that I can. Usually I can't simulate errors because I only see them when I mark from students. So I'm glad that this mistake happened. So now, how do you fix this? You need to replace that. Yeah? So you're going to go for find and replace. But first, because my PC doesn't have a comma that I understand, it only have the commas here on the typing side. I need to probably prove it by saying maybe I go somewhere on the blank page and I type there. I want to combine 4.4 plus 5.5. So I'm using this comma equals to. If I get an answer, I know that I'm winning. I'm gonna do the same with full stops. Equals to 4 full stop 4 plus 5 full stop 5. Then I get an error. So now another way to full stop is not a command that they recognize. Your computer, I can tell you now, this is different to all computers. Some computers sees a full stop as a comma. Some sees a comma as a comma. You need to know that. There's no rule of thumb for this one. You must go with what works for your own personal computer. Okay. Then Control F. Control F enables you to go find. Yeah? So I'm going to say actually replace. I'm going to choose the replace section and then I say find a full stop, replace it with a comma. Then it says replace all. I click yes, replace all. Replace all. then it tells you that all done. We made 125 replacements. So imagine that if you were writing this in a lab, let's say a test was in a lab, I was going to give you the raw data and say, you type it, because usually we used to type it in YouTube. You type the entire data yourself and you do all the calculations. And it happens that your entire spreadsheet is having that issue. You cannot start afresh. You should be able to sort it out like this. Okay, so now I have numbers everywhere. Okay, if I had that if the what you call the graph was here, it was gonna readjust itself. Maybe I don't know why I panicked. I shouldn't have deleted it. It was fine. It was gonna readjust itself. But nevertheless, we are here now. We're going to highlight the very same things. I highlight the first column and I move to the second one, which is the X-Papa. I highlight it and I go to the control limits, control, okay, and I highlight them. Then I go to insert and I look for a appropriate graph. And that's my graph there. That's my graph there. You see that? And I have two values. I have two values that are outside. Two values that are outside my control limits. Two values that are outside my control limits. Okay? Then let's do for the R bar. You take the range, highlight everything under the range, the R bar, and your control limits for R. Man. Jesus. If you want to win, you can put the ranges on one side, like meaning the range and the range, the R bar range, yeah, on one side. So when you highlight, you just highlight its control limits and the R bar. Okay, then you have your graph like this with one control limit. It has one control limit. It has one control limit there. So this one has a control limit of 65. The 6.65 and 6.51. We want to address those now. On the next section of this thing, we are going to address those ones. So now we have a formula here. It says we are looking for the new X-Papa. You see that? We are looking for the new X-Papa and we want the sum of the original X-Papa minus, guys, minus the discarded subgroup averages. You see that? The numbers that are outside the 6.65 and the 6.51, those are the ones that we're going to utilize. Ne? So X Papa new, ne? It's equals to sum of X bar minus X bar D over G minus G D. Ne? Subgroups of the the discarded subgroup of the discarded number of the discarded subgroups basically. This is what it means. Okay, then we have your 0.25 minus 6.65 minus 6.51 over ne? Your G is 25 minus how many values went overboard. It's this one here and that one there is 2, right? Minus 2. Okay, then your new X papa is going to be 6 what? 6.4. Okay, just like that again. Okay, sharp. Then we do this for range. The R bar new, it's equals to the sum of R minus R discarded over G minus the number of values that were discarded. So the sum of is, again, we still remember 2.19 minus the value that was discarded. You need to look for it there on the graph, is 0.3. Do you see that? 0.3 is the number that was discarded. 0.3. Okay, over 25 minus 1. How many were discarded for R? It's 1. Then what is our answer? 0.078. Okay, 875, which is roughly 0.079 there. Okay, we can use it basically as the thingy. Okay, then now we have this. Now we have this X, guys. Now we have this, whereby X0 it's equals to X new, right? So meaning that our 6.4 is our X new, meaning that our R0 is R bar new, which is equals to 0.079, right? Okay, then we need to look for sigma 0 equals to RO D2, which is equals to, now we are looking for the sigma 0. So we're going to the table looking for D2. Let's go look for the D2. The small D2, it's going to be 2.059, right? 2.059. 2.059 over 0.079. It's equals to, 0,038. All right. So now we are using a formula there. The formula we are using is, guys, you see the formula here? There's our formulas that we are now using. Do you see that? So we're going to look for A, number one. For A, we're going to look for D2 and D1. Right? We go backward to the table again. We're going to look for these values. And you see why I highlighted that row? Because I just go there and look at it quickly. D2, I said A again. A, it's 1.5, right? And then D1 is 0. And then D2 is 4.698. 4.698 is D2. 4.698, 1.500, D1 is 0. You see that? Okay. Then now, you use the formulas there. You just glance once, look at them, and then okay, let me just rewrite it. The formula is, oh, my pen disappeared. Upper control limit is equals to x bar 0 plus A sigma 0. Then what's your x bar 0? 6.4 plus your A is 1.5 multiplied by 0.038. What's our value? 6.41, right? Or 6.47. 45. Okay. 6.45 on the dot like this. 457. How different is it from the initial one? Different. Okay, no problem. And then with a minus, 6 point with a minus, put a minus there. Put a minus. Yes, from the answer you got. Then you're gonna get lower control limits again. It's going to be 6.4 minus 1.5 multiplied by 6.34. So it's solid like this again, like that. It's solid. Okay. Then now for upper control limit, I'm sure it's going to have this multiplied by, guys, D2. Let me confirm it. Yeah. That. Then 0.038 multiplied by 4.69. Oh. 98. What's the answer? 0, comma. Okay. So those are the control limits. From here, unfortunately, you can't draw it. You can't redraw it again. It will waste time. Yeah. Okay. And everything we have done so far is correct. Okay? Guys. Hello. Guys. And guys, where is the start of this? And we have another concept. or not 6.4 minus 0.8 multiplied by 1 minus. All right, guys. It's yeah. Each one can round up. They're not like histogram. You don't can self-stated very clear, but you are not allowed to round up. But this ones you are rounding up. Okay, what is this S stand for? What does this S stand for? The S bar. Standard deviation. You see that? You repeat everything utilizing these calculations here, né? Whereby you still have the X bar, né? That's right, this is X bar, it cannot be X bar. This is X bar and A3 and standard deviation. So we're gonna do this on Excel. Still have 30 minutes. So now need to confirm how did I get the standard deviation. Standard STD okay. All right, guys. Hello. Equals to. Yeah. Equals S. You say equals to S D. Yeah. Look. Hey, guys, look at that. You see here? It says calculate standard deviation based on the entire population given arguments. Ne? So you choose that one. SDD. Ne? You choose that one there. Guys, then you look for your standard deviation there within the first row. Enter. Then you find the standard deviation. Then you expand. It goes down. Then you look for standard deviation average. Then you look for standard deviation average. Then it's part of the same. It doesn't change. Then you're gonna look for the control limits, right? So then you're gonna look for the control limits. I want to know from people. Would that pose a challenge to do the standard deviation or now? So finish it up. But I remember if we told the book. Let's do it. Okay. Then, guys, hold on. People, good people, the standard, the answer, the sum for the standard deviation is, I want the table. The answer, the total, 6.441. No, it's 0.966. Guys, good people, originally, this is how you were gonna perform your standard deviation, right? Originally, but you know that if you go onto the calculator, you use the statistic part of it, you can get the standard deviation. You can get the sum of these values, then you put it directly there. So that part I don't think is going to be difficult. Just in case I give you a smaller yana thing, but I'm not, and it's not gonna be even in the exam. Ne? What I'll give you either X bar and standard deviation already calculated. I won't require you to calculate next week. Ne? We have the one for X bar and range, and the other one is for X bar and standard deviation only. One of the two is in the test. All right. So now let's quickly do this. We have 0. Guys, we are using this formula. 0966 over 25. Ariel, is that calculator? 0.966 over 25. 839. Okay? And then this one is 6.41. The X part doesn't change. The X part doesn't change. Okay, moving right along. Let's go look for, guys, we're making noise. Let's go look for A3 and what? B4 and B3. Right? Where's that table? The N is the same, it doesn't change. We said B3 and B4. Already we can tell that I am seeing 1.6. That line was okay, man, but it's fine. Let me recreate the line. Let me recreate the line under 4 there. That's my line. So I have, what do I need? A what? Guys? A3, ne? Which is 1.628, and I need B3, ne? B4, 2.266. The other one is 0. The other one is 0. All right. Then use your formula. The X bar plus A3 S bar. Do you see the formula? Then there is another one for the negative, right? So for your control, for upper control limit equals to 6.41 plus 2.266 multiplied by 0.039. Six comma 4.45. Yeah? 49. 6.49. Okay. And then when we use the minus, which you're going to get the LCL 6.8. Okay, obviously you remove the plus. That's simple logic, right? Okay, sharp. Then now we are doing for the upper control limit for S bar. For S, yeah. It's equals to 0.039 multiplied by the 2.2 something, eh? Oh, I might have made a mistake here. Okay, so I made a mistake here. Guys, 2.266. So this one cannot be. This is A3. Our A3 is 1.628. Guys, revise this quickly. Let's revise here. 1.6 what? 28. And then what is the answer? 47. Okay. And then here 35. Use a minus 35. Sharp. So okay, and then the control limit this side. What is the control limit this side? Are we getting 0.0876, which is similar to previous? Again, which is similar to previous. Okay. Then now you need to ask yourself, how many values under S bar? Nah, guys, under S bar, how many values went off the chart? The very same ones. Nah? So meaning that for the X is 2, which is the same number, nothing changes, which is 6.65. So the calculation to find the X bar is the same. Nah? Okay, then for this one, the standard deviation, only one value came out, and also it is 0.3. Okay, so now the last part of this is this one. Now we need to find the last part. Okay, guys, x0, guys, x0 is equals to 6.41. That we know again. We have done it already. But S0 is equals to S nu, which is denoted by sum of, you see the sum of what here? Sum of your S minus the values that came out over G minus the G, the discarded values, né? Which is going to be equals to, what is our total standard deviation? Huh? It's 0.039. 0.039 minus 0.3, the value that came out, over 25 minus 1. And then what's my answer? Yeah? Yeah. Wait, no. That's my S bar. I'm supposed to use the total S. You see there, the total S, which is this number here. Guys, I must use this number here. Yeah. The 0.965. 0.965. Okay? 0.028. Okay? Sharp. Then, how do we find there's a value missing here. How do I find oh yeah, here. This is what I'm looking for. Q0 equals to S0 over C4. What is C4? Let's go look for C4. C4 it's 0.9213. 9213. And then S0 is 0.028, which is equals to 0.028 over 0.213. 0.13. Guys, something is wrong. Okay, first of all, our please verify this. This is not correct, right? Verify that on your calculations alone, but the correct value is 0.035. Verify that. Then we're going to get 0.038. This is what we're going to get. Ne? Guys, okay, then we have a formula that upper control limit is equals to, guys, x bar 0 plus a 0. And then for your upper control limit s bar, it's equals to, guys, 0 b b6, okay? Then what's my value for here is 0, is 6.41 plus, what is my a? I'll copy it right here. 1.5 multiplied by 0.038 equals to, guys, do the answer there. 6.41 plus 1.5 multiplied by 0.038. 6.467. Then when it's minus, for the lower control limit equals to 6.353. Okay, then for this one, what is B6? Go to the list there. B6 is 2.088. 2.088 multiplied by 0.3038. 2.088 multiplied by 0.079. And your duty now, again, is to do for the 1 year the lower control limit, which is going to be 0. You must do it. It's a math. Remember, the total marks is going to determine how long the test is. Understand? And I want to put it around about Okay, when I remember three, I think they amounted to 27, ne? 27 marks. So without the drawing of the graph. And then 3 marks are going to be list. I'll make you list something. I'll think about it, what you can list. So now, what can you use as practice? What can you use as practice? This is a homework. It has an example on R, X and R, X and S. And it tells you the value of N. I can see here. Your N is 8 in this case. Your N is 6 in this case. You see that? 8 and 6. You go to it and one of the two. Don't be surprised. Next, we are not here to save the semester again. So point blank, one of the two. I'm not gonna finish my statement. When I'm not next week, don't disappoint me. I want to ignore it. Again, one of the one of the two. Not gonna change this. The number 2, Ena the number 2. We're not paying 2, 7, that's number 2. I can't switch page. Ena the number 6. Number 2, number 6. I'm gonna take screenshots from the book. So you can't be asking me funny questions. Number 2, number 6. Oh well, one of the two. You know how I did. You know how I wrote. Alright guys, thank you so much. Do we have any other questions? No. Sure. Guys, your test 2. Only this one. Either of I can only this one. And you should be going. I know, I'm not 3 marks. If you make it 30 marks. I don't know what to create. In my time. I want to as Excel. Yeah. I'm not it must not convert itself. No.